Bayelsa election. Falana says Supreme Court is wrong, lacks jurisdiction. A senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, has reacted to the judgment of the Supreme Court on the governorship election in Bayelsa State. In an exclusive with Channels Television, he said the Apex Court made a mistake when it treated a pre-election matter as a post-election matter. What their lordship ought to have done was to ask the lawyers, can you address us with respect to our jurisdiction? Because Section 133 of the Electoral Act stipulates that upon the conclusion of an election and once candidates are declared, any challenge of the conduct of the election of the qualification of the candidates shall be heard and determined by an election petition tribunal, Falana stated. On February 13, a five-man panel of the Supreme Court, led by Justice Mary Peter Odili, sacked David Leon and Biobarakuma Degi, a member of the All Progressive Congress (APC), as the winner of the November 16, 2019 governorship election. The court then ordered the Independent Electoral Commission, INEC, to withdraw the certificate of return issued to the APC candidates and issue fresh certificates to the candidates of the party with the next highest votes and with the required constitutional spread of votes in the result of the election. It disqualified Degi Eremieo as a candidate in the election for submitting forged certificates to INEC, stressing that the deputy governorship candidate had infected the joint ticket with which he and Leon ran for and won the elections. This led to the declaration of Senator Doye Diri and Senator Lawrence Eru Jakbo of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) as the winner of the election and subsequent swearing in as the governor and deputy governors of Bayelsa State. The leader of the APC and Degi Eremieo have separately asked the Apex Court to review its judgment on the election. In his reaction, Falana, who has disagreed with the APC-led government on many issues, insisted that the Apex Court made a mistake. He stressed that the court lacks the jurisdiction to entertain the matter, saying it should have gone before the election petition tribunal. Ahead of the review of the judgment by the Supreme Court, the senior advocate was hopeful that the opportunity would further develop and strengthen the country's law. He said, the election was held on the basis of the judgment of the Court of Appeal, which was to the fact that, yes, Degi Eremieo changed his name many times, not that he forged any of his certificates. There was no such proof. Therefore, he can contest the election. On the basis of that judgment, the people's vote, which means by that judgment, the election was valid and legal. As of that date, there was no pending appeal before the Supreme Court, whereby INEC could be accused of having violated the doctrines of lis pendens. That is, since you knew a case was in court, why did you hold election, as was the case of Peter Obi and INEC? He added. Falana stated that it was after the conclusion of the election that the PDP filed an appeal in the Supreme Court. He stressed with profound respect that the attention of the Supreme Court was not drawn to the legality of the appeal. The case had become spent. So people, yes, the long-awaited Femi Falana has spoken. He's reacted now. And, if you don't know Femi Falana, he's a senior advocate of Nigeria. He's a lawyer, a senior advocate of Nigeria. So everyone has been waiting for him to speak, but he's finally spoken now. And he has said that the Supreme Court was wrong. because they didn't hold anything against the governor or his deputy before they went into the election, and it therefore means that they had no case pending. It was after the win of APC, Mr. David Leon, that PDP filed the appeal, and the court disqualified, sacked Mr. David Leon, which ought not to be, because it says there was no pending case in the court. So the case of lease pendants was not there. Because if you know that you can't hold the court for lease pendants, because if you know that there's a case pending, you can't allow the election. But obviously, there was no case pending, and the election was allowed. It therefore means that the case is spent. So David Leon should be the winner of the election. But obviously, the court, again, they should have asked the lawyers to tell them their jurisdiction, which they failed to do. They just went ahead to decide on the case. So Femi Falana today has come out to say that was wrong. So the judgment of the Supreme Court was wrong. So people, this is what is going on. Even Femi Falana has spoken. And then from his point of view, he's got a point. But anyway, let's see how this plays out. Let's see how the case is going to go, what the Supreme Court is going to say, because obviously before you can preside over a matter, you need to ask the lawyers if that's within your jurisdiction to preside over. So that's the situation on ground, and the case is still ongoing. Let's see what the Supreme Court finally says. But already they have given the mandate to Doye Diri. Is now the governor of Bayelsa State. But we know what happened in Nigeria with the case of Ihedioha, a whole lot of cases, you see. So nowadays in Nigeria, whether you are the governor, whether you are the sitting governor, it doesn't really matter, because things change in Nigeria, because we don't do our proper job before we go ahead to do the needful, you see. So at the end of the day, the Supreme Court again can even say, you know what, we were wrong in our judgment. It's Nigeria, anything can happen, and depends on who the power is with at the minute. So let's see how this comes out. Let's see how this comes through, But we hope that Bayelsa is in peace. All we don't need is disruption in Bayelsa State. Femi Falana has said he's a senior advocate of Nigeria. So I think the Supreme Court, they need to look into that, and let's see how that plays out. All right, thank you very much, my people. I wanted to comment in the comment section, and also thank you very much for all those that have subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, please, as you hear this news, do subscribe so you can get all our latest news as they come to us. Thank you very much. Until we meet again. Bye.